to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in.
You went so short. I was like, what time is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I normally keep it short when you need to.
Freaked me out, man.
Not the response I hoped for from It's Baseball Time yesterday.
Oh, was it over?
Fairly negative.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense because we're a football show.
I was told that the pitcher's arms need more time to loosen up.
What?
That's why the
Okay.
pitchers and catchers show up.
All right.
Oh.
Not
The
that
other guys show up like at the first game.
Hold on,
right?
Jason wants to talk baseball. 1 second.
Not that
1
I want
second.
to talk baseball, okay? Because
Right.
you know I hate the game
Yeah.
And the players.
and the players. But correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know anything about that stupid sport. Didn't in the, not olden days, I mean, I guess it's olden days now, but like the 90s or whatever, didn't
The 90s
Come
are
on,
the
man.
olden days?
I don't know.
Come
but
on.
okay, so
I thought you were going to be like, back when Babe Ruth was
not
playing.
long ago,
It's a different word. Yeah.
when we were growing up in the 90s, didn't people just just try to pitch the whole game and now it's like there's 12 pitchers every inning?
Yes. Do
Like
you want me to answer why that happens?
Now they're like, well, their arms need even more time to warm up. They're a bunch of babies. No more answers. Let's move on. Baseball's babies.
Mm.
Andy wants to answer so bad.
Welcome in.
He's like, oh, I've got the answer, Jason.
No, you don't. You wouldn't do anything with the answer. You know what I mean?
wouldn't.
You
No.
couldn't comprehend the answer.
Also, the answer is going to be they're babies.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Like when you hear the answer, it doesn't matter what he says. You're like, oh,
That's
so
what
they're
you
babies.
will say.
yeah.
Now you
Well, that's
really want.
'cause
Now you really want to know.
I'm curious how they're
5
babies.
words or less.
They're babies because they are super athletes now, and so the training.
Have we gotten too strong for the ligaments?
Yes, we have. We throw.
Maybe we should slow it
we
down.
throw
then.
too fast, and we
gotta
train too
figure
hard.
out how to upgrade those ligaments. That's the real key. We need to put some platelet-rich injections in the ligaments.
Oh boy!
Oh.
Here's health, Jason, showing up. Oh boy! Welcome into the show. It'll be a fun one today. Thank you for those of you. Thanks to those of you that have voted already at footyawards.com for the 2024 Fantasy Football Awards. You can still go and vote before Monday. Footyawards.com. All the nominees on our last episode of the show. And a few other reminders here at the top. We've got an AMA today. We got a good quick question. Happy to be with you. Thanks for hanging out with us this offseason, this playoff season. The DFS pass is free throughout the entire playoffs. So if you've never used it and you want to get in on that, dfspass.com, completely free. Sign up, see what's in there, enjoy it for the NFL playoffs. We have a bunch of new swag up on shopballers.com. That includes championship swag, gear, Foot Clan title T-shirts. We have the new autographed mini helmets.
Oh, they're hot.
That are up there. And soon, Jason the model, Mike the model, we have 2 versions of these brand new Ballers hats, which you can see there with the logo on them. Very, very different than the hat Jason normally wears.
Yeah, this
So
is actually our
different.
brand. This is the
one
Fantasy
has-
Footballers hat.
I told
there are letters different.
Owl Borland was very helpful in getting these hats off the ground, but then when I got it, the little logo thing under the bill, this is new for me. Is this what the youths are doing?
Yeah, so you don't get it dirty. You put your thumb there when you
Oh,
grab
my
it.
Oh, that's
God.
what it's for?
Yes, sir.
What about the top?
Oh, the top's going to get a little dirty, man. It is what it's for, but the top gets dirty. It's just
We'll have our people work
maybe
on
round
that.
2, version 2, maybe we'll put a button on the top.
You can get your thumb as dirty as you want.
Right. Keep your fingers clean when you're wearing
Fingers
these
clean,
hats.
thumb
But you can
dirty.
put your thumb in peanut butter and then take this hat off.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, so
Oh
the
my
part that
gosh.
people see is dirty.
Right.
The part people can't see very clean.
Look, you want these hats. They're technologically advanced.
You really want these hats.
They're not up there yet, but shopballers.com very soon. And if you need championship trophies, belts, rings gear. That's fantasychamps.com.
I suppose it gives you a little bit of a better grip. Maybe you're in the rain.
Right.
You're
not
like,
gonna be.
You gotta
slippery
get your
for
hat
you.
off in the rain, man.
No, get it on.
Oh, okay. Okay. Here's your quick question of the day. Matt Wilt
It's
wrote
grippy.
in on X. He said he rode Bucky Irving to a championship this year. How high is Bucky Irving's ceiling next year? Thanks, guys, and congrats, Al, on your title. Please stop congratulating Al. Please. Just stop.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to stop.
Never stop.
17 games.
Never give up.
207 carries, 1,122 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns, 52 targets, 47 for 392 and 0. You stop congratulating Al, but begin giving Mike his flowers, because this was one in the offseason that he was spot on. He thought that Bucky Irving could emerge in Tampa.
And to be fair, I would love to take all this credit. A lot of that was I thought Rachaad White was not good enough.
Well, look, and I was on the side that you don't like Rachaad White.
The vet keeps his full time.
It was just more like it was more on the basis of they were a playoff team that was great. Baker was awesome, and it was a lot of it had to do with Rachaad White in the receiving game. So why mess with what worked?
Right, yeah.
But Bucky Irving was so much better of a runner, right? The offensive line was bad in Tampa last year.
That's how good Bucky is.
Bucky was that good.
The job wasn't given him. He stole the job because you're like, we can't keep Bucky off the field. And so the question
was, Rachaad White was a top 15 running back down the stretch, and Bucky was still that good.
The question of what is his ceiling it's extremely difficult. I didn't know this was going to be our question today, but there was a tweet I saw earlier from Jacob Gibbs, so shout out to him. But Bucky Irving and Alvin Kamara, which was in 2017 when Kamara did it, the only 2 running backs to top 1,500 scrimmage yards with a snap rate under 50%, and that is for every fantasy running back. Everything comes down to the decisions of, well, not everything because talent matters, but the decisions of the coach, because it's pretty rare that there's 2 running backs out there on the field at the exact same time, and the running back that is out there, that's a coach's decision. Like with my unbelievable frustration with Rico Dowdle when he's getting these 20-plus carries, running great, and then they're like, but inside the goal, when we're close to the goal line, we got to get somebody else in there. And those are decisions that those are the big decisions for ceiling.
This was an amazing rookie season. I feel like there's a huge discussion attached to this. 1,500-plus scrimmage yards, 5.96 yards per touch, hyper efficient, and we've been here before with the efficiency.
Yeah.
Last year,
yes.
Devon Achane, an Underdog, put this tweet out reminding us of kind of Devon Achane came into the year this year. What did he average last year? 7-point-something a carry?
7.9 a carry, something like that.
He had 100 more carries in 2024 than he did in his rookie season.
Exactly.
He had 107 more rushing yards on 100 extra carries. So, that's part of the discussion with Bucky. We cannot quantify perfectly how much rest times, when a young player gets to come in and they're complimenting, like Achane did last year, complimenting Mostert, who was amazing, and Bucky Irving coming in and complimenting and kind of taking over from Rachaad White but getting snaps off, there's not a really easy way to quantify that value and what that does to efficiency. What we do know is when you have a committee backfield, you do miss out on the 1 yard 4th down, right, to mess with your numbers and the short yardage, and the game's getting put away, but you're getting every snap, so the defense knows what you're doing, so your efficiency goes down. Like, yards per carry only takes you so far, really. You have to have film. You have to be able to watch what these players are doing on the field. I don't think any of us think Devon Achane is less talented this year because his efficiency went down.
No, it's because his volume went up.
Yeah, exactly. So but the numbers look like, you had a down year.
No, and obviously Devon Achane, extremely talented, was great for fantasy football this year. Getting back to the Bucky Irving question and how high can he be next year? To give you an example, I don't know if everybody followed along with Bucky, because in the beginning of the year he was the clear, he was the backup. He was not in a committee
on the
back.
Depth chart, yes.
On the depth chart, it was Rachaad White's team. He was too talented. he was too efficient. They just kept giving him more work, and the beat reporters would say, hey, when are we getting more Bucky? And it's like, well, this is Rashad's backfield. And he just kept getting more and more and more because he passed the eyeball test. He broke tackles. He scored touchdowns. He made this team better. If you look at week 10 on, that's really when a transition was made to where this was a shared backfield. And it wasn't like Bucky took over. In fact, from week 10 on, check this out. Total snaps played from week 10 on for Rachaad White was 50% of the snaps. Total snaps played from week 10 on for Bucky Irving was 50% of the snaps. They were 50-50. Now, Bucky missed most of a week. He got injured in one of those. So in the rest of the games, maybe he had a few more. He out-touched Rachaad White a little bit. But he outclassed Rachaad White a lot of bit. You're talking about, check this out, 10.5 points for Rachaad White from week 10 on per game. And Bucky Irving, if you take out the game he basically didn't play in, 18.8 fantasy points per game. The running backs have scored more than that, for context, in half PPR, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry.
He only scored 4 touchdowns from that point on the ground too. So it was like he had 8 on the year, but they came half before that event. So there's what I love about Bucky's situation moving into the future is that there's going to be a lot of consistency on this team from what we can see.
Yeah.
Baker had a wonderful career year. He's threw a lot of touchdowns, right? So if you talk about
that can regress.
That can go more into Bucky gets that opportunity. Now, can he hold up? That's a question we had about Achane. Achane's been banged up. He got hurt twice this year. So does the team feel like this balance is the right balance? Well, even if he does, it's the numbers that Jason said. There's going to be some variation. But to answer the question succinctly, I think he can be a top 7 running back.
I agree. I think he should be a top 15 running back, and his ceiling is probably around running back 6.
It's like looking at the Jahmyr Gibbs situation where him and Monty they're splitting, and they're both being awesome. But it's like Jahmyr Gibbs, the first month of the season, he wasn't a top 10 running back in any game in the first 4 weeks. Then you would have these stretches where week 7 and 8, running back 1 and 6, but then it's down to 18 and 17. It wasn't until David Montgomery was gone that he rattled off the 4 consecutive weeks where he was running back 3, 7, 2, and 1. So that the ceiling, I don't know that it's going to be, I think, a very like a light version of Detroit where Bucky's going to be drafted really high. Rachaad White will be later. He'll have his own value. And that Bucky Irving will be very good, but that drafting Bucky is, I got this top 15 type of a player, but
if White goes down,
if White misses time, now all of a sudden I have a guy who is a weekly top 5 upside play.
Another point was that Rachaad White caught 91% of his passes from Baker last year, which was like outrageous, right? Like that's an amazing number. I looked this year. This year he's at 89%. Rachaad White catches everything.
Yeah.
You want to know what Bucky's number is? 90.
Oh,
90.
Give him the ball.
This might be Baker.
I was going to say
Baker's throwing a really good ball to his running back.
The common denominator here is the quarterback, because last year it was like, we were worried about losing the offensive coordinator, and Liam Cohen comes in. Baker's playing great, so it's really helpful to have a quality offense around running backs. I like the Detroit Lions light motif here.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you got confidence in the quarterback and the offensive system, and it should be really fun for years to come. And if you've got Bucky Irving shares in Dynasty, congrats, because that's going to be a good ride. Let's talk news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by USAA Insurance.
The Raiders have fired Antonio Pierce. That didn't work.
No.
And he didn't have a lot to work with either, but it didn't work.
I mean, you can't lose like that. And just...
You mean 4-13?
Yeah, but I mean, some coaches can survive that. But going 4-13 and with, at least just publicly what we saw, the weirdness of...
Like liking an Instagram post about Devontae Adams getting traded?
Yes, you have that weird stuff. And I'm talking about his press conferences where you're just like, dude, you're the head coach. You can't talk about the team like that. You can't talk about your guys like that.
Yeah, sometimes we've seen this many times in the NFL. When you are an ex-player or you come in with a hard-nosed attitude, it's an amazing ride at the beginning. It motivates. It gets everybody playing very hard, and he finished what? He was 5-4 last year after becoming the interim head coach. Yep. Everybody's loving it. But when things start to go bad and that same attitude comes forth, if that's indeed what it was, then it can wear. It can wear on a team, and they're going a different direction. The Lions head coach Dan Campbell says he expects the aforementioned David Montgomery to play in the divisional round.
That's so insane. I mean, it was his, fourth doctor?
Yeah,
they got to before.
Well, yeah, I mean, the timeline has helped now, right? You're saying the surgery part.
I'm saying that they met with, if you remember, when all the Montgomery news was coming out, it was, oh, man, surgery. Montgomery is toast. He's out for the season. And then they're like, well, we don't like that one. We're going to go check. What do you say, doctor? He's like, no, I would have to operate on this thing. You'd be out. I don't like that either, doctor.
Dr. Campbell, what do you say?
I think it's a weird thing. I put the poll out there for fun about whether people believe that Jahmyr Gibbs being the full-time starter makes the Lions better on accident, or is their offense missing something without Montgomery?
I was surprised by the results of that poll.
64% of you said they're better with both. And
yes,
I do see that.
The team is better.
I don't know if I am on that side.
I voted the other way.
I think that they are better with Gibbs full-time. I do not think they would survive a season.
I agree.
With Gibbs full-time. So I think the team is better to have both for the regular season. But I did think it might be fortuitous for their playoff run to have Gibbs on there in every down back type of situation. But most people disagree with me.
Well, the nice thing is they can choose to go to Gibbs as an every down back whenever is necessary. So if they're in this game and they're down 2 scores and they feel like their best offense is to have Gibbs out there, then they don't have to play Montgomery. But if they're, in a close game or they're up 2 scores, then might as well have Gibbs continue to rest and have Montgomery, who's very good in his own right. He's not as explosive, but he also brings some smash mouth football that wears a defense down that Gibbs doesn't really play that way.
Yeah, and to me, people want to talk about Gibbs being undersized. Maybe when he came into the NFL, to me, he doesn't play that way. He can run inside. I think he's put on weight. We talk about Bucky, right? I mean, Bucky is more undersized than even Gibbs, I think. And they can get it done. They can get it done between the tackles. Jalen Hurts returned to practice like we expected. Zay Flowers not practicing. Long shot to play in the wild card.
I still think it's a bummer.
It's definitely a bummer, but I do think, the line for them is the biggest line this week without Zay being active.
The interesting thing,
but they do play each other close historically.
I'm trying to pull the tweet from memory. I don't have it in front of me, so I apologize who sent it out, but it was essentially breaking down the Steelers blitzed Lamar a lot.
Yep.
And then it broke down the percentage of targets when Lamar has been blitzed, the targets that have gone to Flowers, and it's extremely high. So it's like, okay, if you don't have the blitz release valve of Zay Flowers, somebody will have to step into that role and be efficient at it. And could that turn into a problem?
To me,
it was FTN. Okay, thank you, Kyle.
To me, that is the the big question in this game is, can the Steelers defense do something to create a play? Because that would close that gap. Target percentage for Zay Flowers on the year is comical at wide receiver. Comical.
His wide receiver target?
His wide receiver target percentage.
What's it at?
Do you want to take a shot?
Oh, man.
Last year it was 39%.
I was going to guess right around 50.
It's 49%. So you were way off. His regular target share is 25%. But that was including the game where, he just got knocked out. So, yeah, he's very important to their passing game. Now, whether they need it or not, do you like Henry over 100? I do.
Yeah.
Against that running defense, they couldn't stop him a few weeks ago. Isaac Garendo sprained MCL and ankle.
I think that is
great news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Considering the way the injury looked, him being carted off, ruled out immediately, it was, oh no, something's broken or something's torn.
I did enjoy all the tweets I received on the news that the Chargers have signed Ezekiel Elliott to their practice squad, soon to be called up to their roster, because I had just like the Charger fans have come out and they love me now.
All 12 of them?
First of all, I didn't know there were any. And second of all, the fact that I picked them to go far in the playoffs.
Go far. You got them all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I minimized that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Go all the way.
To lose.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
just by a nose.
But Zeke heard the podcast, and he's trying to win a ring, and he said, "Hey, I want to get to a Super Bowl."
Unfortunately, I have to root against the Chargers with every fabric of my being now.
Oh yeah.
So I apologize for that.
Todd Bowles said Kate Otten is trending in the right direction. So maybe Payne Durham won't be the only tight end active for the Buccaneers.
Big Gulps?
Dude, big Gulps.
Big Colps, huh?
Well,
I actually think he's someone to pay attention to.
Yeah, I think so too.
He didn't get a chance until late this season to even, I think his first catch came like 3 weeks ago. This is a rookie, and he looks good on the field, so pay attention to him.
What about you don't like Durham?
I like big Gulps.
All right. Durham got the
Which his name, by the way, is Devin Culp.
Yeah, Payne Durham touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, so we'll see if Kate Otten gets out there. That was today's news and notes. Presented, as always, by USAA Insurance. Learn more at usaa.com/insurance.
All right, Devin Culp.
Are you putting it again?
Yeah, I am. First one of 2025. Big Gulps.
All right, we are going to take a break and hit the mailbag. All right, Mike, we have a very special Footballers AMA, and then we have a fantasy face-off after that. Let's do it.
Mailbag.
Mailbag. Ask me anything.
Okay. The Deucers Alleys, they're in it today.
Yeah, they are. They're
Well,
cracking up.
You want to know why they are laughing so much, gentlemen?
Why is that?
Lack of
Because
self-control.
Partially. But all three of them were in here like an hour or two ago.
Yeah.
When we recorded an absolutely
Dynamite
fire Spitballers episode. And so this is the time of year, if you are going to the off season, we're down to, we're 2 shows a week for our main podcast. You want more, you listen to other podcasts, all your podcasts are dwindling down. Go check out the Spitballers Comedy Podcast. That episode releases on Monday, but you don't want to miss it. A lot of
It's very funny.
Intelligence.
A lot of intelligence.
Jeremy, is your trophy not there? What are you doing, man? Oh.
I think Josh must have moved it.
Huh. Well, be glad that I'm here
Somebody
for you.
put it on the floor. Thank you for bringing that up.
All right, we will jump into the mailbag. It's a Ask Me Anything episode. You can visit the site if you have other questions for us and click the Submit a Question button or dial our voicemail hotline. We have some voicemails, Al? Is that is true?
That is correct.
All right.
What's up, ballers? I've been wondering this for years. When are we going to finally see Andy on Survivor? Love the show, and congrats to Jeremy on the championship.
I can answer that for Andy.
The question is, when will we see Andy on Survivor?
You have an answer for me.
Yeah, it is as soon as Survivor asks. As soon. The second they ask.
Do they ask, or do you?
No.
I would need to
You gotta lobby,
pursue
right?
it. Yeah, I mean, myself and Papa Josh back there, I guess the Falcon too, pretty big Survivor fans. And
I would do anything to see you on Survivor.
I've thought about it. I mean, I think
I've never watched the show.
it's not being on it. I would love to be on it. It's being gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was saying. I would love.
That's why
for you to
you'd
be
love
on
it. Yeah.
Do you know how long filming is?
You're got to be gone at least 30 days, probably 40.
And even, then when if you're the first one kicked off, you're still sequestered, right?
You're still hanging out. Yeah.
So no matter
That would
what,
be
you're gone for that
so
time.
fun.
And you've got the in with Apostle, right?
I do know Tyson. Yeah.
And who was the other guy that we played pickleball with?
Jeff Probst.
Something
it wasn't.
Rob.
It wasn't.
Something Rob.
No, it was Boston Rob.
Boston Rob. That was it.
Yeah. So I didn't think about
You're
that.
making people
I could be
up.
on there
Stop
in
it.
30 seconds if I wanted to.
I choose not to.
Yeah, Mr. Survivor, reach out
My
to Andy.
kids are now old enough where I think I would just say, yeah, I'd do
You
it.
would say yes if the problem is you actually need to go to them and like audition and whatnot. But if they came to you
How
and
would
said,
I mean, Papa Josh, you guys know me and you know the show. How far am I getting?
You're making it pretty far.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I think so.
It's more
Falcon.
Yeah, you'd go.
you don't get
15
voted,
days.
you don't get voted out. You have an allergic reaction on the island.
Okay.
You have a medical reason for leaving. That's my prediction. You do not get voted off. But
You want
do
to
not
race
win.
right now? All right.
amazing.
We've good. Here's a question off of X from Baylor, not Baller, Baylor. What were the other options for the name of the show before you chose the Fantasy Footballers? We did
Man.
say ask us anything.
It's a question for you two.
Fantasy Hitmen was the only one I remember.
Was that in? That was in.
It was just it
was
wasn't
in consideration?
It was never seriously considered, but we had a list. Like it's weird because Andy and I have the memories of like I can see he hand wrote all these things on like notebook paper, and I can see it in my head. I just can't remember any of the other names. But of the list of names, Andy was like he's over here with his business savvy tech mind of like fantasy footballers. This could be a good name, and I'm like that name's kind of funny. We should go with that.
Yeah.
It's like we can get the domain,
Right?
That was part of it.
We did have a small period of time in the beginning where it was confused a little bit with soccer
Yeah.
because that was the way footballer was used.
It used
Most
to be,
often.
used to be that
Used to,
footballers were
yeah.
soccer players.
But
We took that
dude,
over.
I was looking at that SEO, man. How do we get a name close to the topic? We were going to do fantasy
Worked out.
football.
It's hard to forget.
Ers.
Yeah. What's that fantasy football show I like?
Fantasy football.
There you go. Jose Gonzalez wants to know what is the best sandwich and where did you have it?
Oh, so this is a very, very specific, just the one
that's
sandwich.
the sandwich.
That's not like what is the best sandwich to make. That
Right.
is more like, can you remember a sandwich that
I can, because it was like 2 months ago.
wait, your best sandwich was 2 months ago?
I don't know if it was it's recency bias, of course,
Yeah.
but it was this good that it was like a sandwich. Bought one just for me and the wife to split, and then as soon as both of us start eating, we're like, "Oh man, we have made a mistake."
Oh, the splitting was a big
bought
mistake.
another.
Yeah, well, we were already home, but it was from it's a chain, so it's Ike's sandwiches, Ike's Lovin' sandwiches, but it was a form of a Reuben,
Dude, that's my answer.
but it was basically it was a New Yorker, not a real
Yes.
Reuben, because it was coleslaw instead of kraut.
My answer was going to be this Reuben New Yorker sandwich at Chompy's, which is a place out here.
Oh yeah.
I had
Did you ever have the one from Miracle Mile? Oh,
Reuben?
nope. Put that one back at the top.
Reuben Town?
New Yorker.
New
You
Yorker.
could-
I mean,
You could go Reuben
what
too.
makes a New Yorker and a Reuben different? Like
it's
just
coleslaw,
the coleslaw?
coleslaw or sauerkraut. But oh my gosh, we had this place called Miracle Mile. You get a New Yorker there. You put that thing on a roll. Whoo!
That was a young man's game.
Oh, I'll do it right now. If that thing were here, oh my goodness.
Jason, do you have a sandwich answer?
I would say the best sandwich
Jeremy, you know it,
I've ever
Oh, yeah.
had.
get it on the
That
mic, brother.
used to be once a week lunch for me.
Dude, that sandwich was
it
unbelievable.
was so good.
Is Miracle Mile gone?
I think there's still
No, there's still one left.
one.
But
All right.
it's
Looks
a
like
ways
we're
away.
traveling.
Foot Clan?
It is.
Honestly, it's a sandwich my wife made. It's so good that she's made it 100 times since then.
My wife's ham and cheese.
Come on. This is an everything bagel, toasted, buttered, and then it's basically an Italian sandwich inside. But I mean, this is chock full of everything. We call it a BAS. It's a bomb sandwich.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. I read between the lines.
Justin on Instagram writing in, what is your favorite video game of all time for each of the Ballers and the Deucers?
Oh, no one wants to do.
I feel like the and Deucers went in there from Papa Josh.
He wrote that in.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 7.
OG or
OG.
A Link to the Past.
Okay. And Deucers?
Halo 3 multiplayer specifically.
Oh, baby! I used to get down.
Papa Josh?
God of War 2018.
Is that the original? The first one?
Like
oh
the
no,
first of the
2018.
new
Of course
ones, yeah.
not. Yeah.
And Al, do you have a
Tetris.
video game? Tetris.
I,
Yeah.
have
all
no-
right.
I don't play video games.
Minesweeper.
I like to play Mario Kart with my kid. That's fun.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite of all time.
You don't let him win, do you?
Never.
Okay.
Good man.
Got to teach him. You earn victories.
Goodness. This is great. I have seen none of these questions before I'm asking them either. So
By the way, Brooks said BioShock for him.
BioShock?
Yeah, that's a good game.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
good game.
Yeah, if you make me
Kyle
choose a
have one?
classic, it'll be Super Mario World.
Kyle, get in here.
Kyle's typing.
No, he's not.
Oh.
King
All
Griffey
right.
Jr. on Super Nintendo.
There we go.
Dude.
Now there we go. That's a game.
King Griffey Jr. Baseball was the freaking best sports game.
That was a good one.
Super Tecmo Bowl.
That was awesome. All right, we got another voicemail question.
Yo, ballers, this is AB from Australia. I'm not sure how much this is going to cost me, but just thought I'd ring in. So just wanted to know, if you were to be stuck in an elevator for 6 hours with one footballer, who would it be and why?
I mean,
So we choose one of the other two
I guess,
to be
yeah.
stuck in an elevator
Which-
with? Not Jason.
number one, yeah.
It's just gas
I'm a
related.
gassy
It's
man.
just gas related. An elevator for 6 hours, I'm thinking
can't-
about bodily functions.
And
And Mike doesn't talk.
To be
That'd be nice.
To be fair, I don't. My gas is not usually very stinky. It really is.
That's accurate.
But I would explode if I don't fart for 6 hours. That's not how I work. So you will be breathing the insides of me inside this elevator.
Mike, who are you choosing now?
Oh yeah, but Mike, pick me.
Well, first,
pick me.
number one, bonjour. Number two, does Australia still have long distance?
I know. It's like, what are you paying for this? This is
just $4.99 a minute.
I
Using,
don't know.
Just
I don't
call
know
collect, man.
Who was the other phone company? There was AT&T, like MCI or something like that.
Long distance.
Is that right? Josh is nodding with Josh.
Josh is old enough.
Throwback right
Is
there,
international?
man.
If I call France right now, it doesn't cost me more?
No, it doesn't.
Because long
cost you
distance
more.
used to be across state lines, you'd pay more.
Here, yes.
Yeah, here. But I'm just saying, like, but if I called Australia, like right now, it's fine.
Yes.
It doesn't cost me nothing.
Doesn't cost you anything.
No.
Just
I think it's just roaming. If you went to Australia and tried to call home, then you would pay more.
unless you just get on Wi-Fi, then you're
right.
fine.
Sure. Yeah.
So I can ring
roaming
this guy.
is $59.99 a minute. You got to be on
Making
your plan.
international calls from the U.S. incurs extra costs, but it depends on the service provider.
All right. But obviously, I cannot be in an
bonjour.
elevator with Jason for 6 hours because I would be breathing his insides.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick. So I will pick Mike.
Okay.
Awesome.
Just-
I mean,
Yeah,
Just
that's
for
fine.
that.
here, like, if you were stuck with
To make him breathe your insides?
Oh, I will be eating bad before. Where's Miracle Mile? Is that where I go?
Oh, man.
All right.
So
Let's get in the
if-
elevator after that.
If I get a New Yorker, I accept. I'll be stuck in an elevator for 6 hours.
You'd give him the gas. I would try to make small talk with Mike.
Oh, what I was going to say is
I would be like,
it could turn into a 6-hour therapy session for you,
Yeah.
where you would just talk for 6
because
hours.
you wouldn't be talking
Because
back.
I would expect,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be like, I hope we get out of here soon. And you'd be like, yeah. Oh my god.
With his sunglasses on,
Yeah, he would never take them off.
eyes are closed.
West Blues
Put my
writes
sunnies
in
on.
Instagram, what is your most regretted draft pick and why?
Oh, so many, brother. Whoa, most regretted?
I will always come back to, and this is a classic and maybe losing its relevance by the years, but when Calvin Johnson, the year he broke out, I drafted Lawrence Maroney the pick before him.
Oops.
And Maroney was a New England Patriot running back who had had a nice previous season.
What about players people have heard of?
Oh, my gosh.
They've
Like-
heard of Calvin Johnson.
I don't make – I mean, I've been in 9 title games, Jay. I don't make very many wrong picks.
Oh, impressive.
How'd the last one go?
Oh, man. Swish. The worst one.
I mean, I think it was last year I drafted Damian Pierce.
Yeah,
That was a terrible pick.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was getting all that workload in the preseason, the big liars.
worst one. I'm there might be a worse one, but the one that's coming to my head is
What
years
about
ago.
Mark Andrews over Trey McBride?
That one, and by the end of the year, worked out.
What about Marvin Harrison over
A.J. Brown?
Yeah.
That one felt
and,
bad.
and it didn't work out for you.
No, it didn't work out for me. It
Right.
worked out for
Andrews
Mark
ended
Andrews.
up okay, but you were already a dead man.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was years ago, and this probably, now that I'm even working through it, therapeutically, this probably led to me thinking Adam Thielen is the oldest and most terrible person ever, which he's not. But I took Adam Thielen over Jalen Waddle, and this was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. So whenever Waddle had his breakout season and Adam Thielen was not good. So
I think last year in the Listener League, I had a pretty good team. It was 14 teams, so it's harder in that league. I had a pretty good team developed, but the quarterbacks had all been coming off the board, and I had a co-manager in that one, and we decided, we're just going to swing for the fence. If you got to beat 14 people, you got to get a little lucky, and we drafted Deshaun Watson, thinking maybe he would come back to life, and it was like that was basically saying, because there weren't, it wasn't easy to stream off the waivers with all the quarterbacks rostered, and it was like, well, my season's over because that dude sucks. Also, that dude sucks.
I remember the worst. Clyde Edwards-Helaire in a rookie draft before Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah, that's not very good.
Which, if we're going rookie picks, Trey Sermon. Who did I take?
Over Jalen Waddle.
Over Jalen Waddle, that's right.
Instagram question, co-farmed. Mike, tell us about your tattoos.
Well, there's a lot of them. They are
each one.
They are colorful.
Your most, like, if you have a database with all the tattoos and the dates, what's the most recent tattoo date-wise?
Oh,
it's probably been like,
it's been a long time. You could see it if you go track it down on YouTube. You
got sleeved while you were still here.
Yeah, my right arm was done while we were in the studio, so you could watch it over
6-7 years.
Get pieced together. It's been a long time.
So you're going to be able to see my entire face get tatted over the next 10.
You're not done.
No,
but this is a big break.
It's the classic. I'm going to get more ink when I get in shape.
That's a big thing then.
And I've been working on that for about 6 years.
Well, what's your favorite tattoo?
My favorite tattoo is my space shuttle.
Show the
rocket
camera.
ship. I don't know how
zoom in, Josh.
Of course, I have sleeves on, boys.
Yeah, the one day.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That one's my favorite.
Cat Dad says, tell us one thing that has to be on your Super Bowl plate. So you're watching the game. So what do you have to have?
So it's cliche. It's boring, but it's also absolutely necessary, and it's the best. It's pizza. Like when I think of football and I want food, it's pizza and wings. That is
pizza would have
been
my answer.
The world famous fantasy hitman dip, which is a sausage dip, and it is very delicious. It is
Rotel.
So it's one serving size is a half a pound of sausage. We use a sweet Italian sausage, 1 can of Rotel. We go mild because everyone else in my house is a baby, and then 1 block of Philly cream cheese. And
I don't think Mike knows what one serving means.
I'm saying like
you're saying for the whole party.
I'm saying portion. Sorry, serving is the wrong word.
No, portion's the wrong word.
Portion is also wrong. But like,
what am I thinking?
You're saying for
one dish, one amount.
Yeah, for everybody. One. Yes. Yeah, 1 pot.
Okay. Maybe for him it is a portion.
Well, I mean, it is very good.
It's not a ton. It's not a ton. I'm just saying, like, that's the ratio of
block of cream cheese.
Yeah. Sausage and
a pound of sausage. I like putting it down.
If you go a full pound, it'll be, some people will like it, but that's too meaty for me.
Okay. We'll take a quick break and get into some more questions. YouTube question comes in from Mr. LD. When they make the movie Fantasy Footballers, a podcast that changed the world, who will play you all? And would it be a musical or on the Lifetime Network?
Oh, we have to choose between those two?
I think a musical
between those
would be
two,
great.
You got to go musical. Do not put us on Lifetime. I can't with those movies.
I can't believe they made that like Taylor Swift, Kelsey movie.
Well, they made that. It wasn't Lifetime, but there was the Hernandez movie where they had the fake Gronk.
That's the one I was thinking of too. Oh no, yeah, that was a separate movie.
Yes.
Yeah. What are they doing? So
cashing checks is what they're
we haven't
doing.
had to answer this question in a while.
The issue
you're
is,
Baby Goose. You're Ryan Gosling, right?
That's who we normally go with. Yeah. Unless Nate Bargatze's acting.
Oh, there you go. I don't care, look like him or not. I demand it be Chris Pratt. I demand it. He can be overweight. That's great.
Yeah.
he can get in shape. He's funny, so I like him. That's
You're just choosing him.
I'm just choosing him. It's either him or Jack Black, and I would much rather have Chris Pratt.
Jack Black it is. Mike, do we have a?
I'm Googling actors with big heads.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna get a lot of egos in that search result.
Danny DeVito's got a big head.
Oh, DeVito.
We've already Danny. One of us is Danny DeVito, and it's not me. We've already said that was Al.
Oh, the champ. Yeah.
This list says Conan O'Brien, Mark Ruffalo,
Oh, big heads.
Ethan Hawke, John Travolta, Matt LeBlanc.
Maybe some people out there
I don't know
the actor that you look like.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they can share with us.
When I was a teen, I got comped at least a couple times to JT from the hit series Step by Step.
Okay, yeah, I remember him.
I was like,
How about Nick Offerman?
but
I'm just trying to think beard.
Well, he would. Yeah, I
Oh.
mean, he would at least not talk on an elevator too.
yeah, we got some similarities.
I decided to ask ChatGPT who Mike Wright of the Fantasy Footballers looks like. actor-wise.
ChatGPT knows who I am?
And here is the answer that I received.
okay, this is great.
Oh, yes.
Mike Wright of the Fantasy Footballers has often been compared
Danny DeVito.
to Chris Pratt.
Oh, come on! No, you tell him you got the wrong name there
I
because that's
will.
not true.
Jason, change your answer immediately.
That's not true.
I uploaded a picture of the three of you guys, and I got person on the left being Mike Wright would be played by Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, baby!
Person
Can I have Chris Pratt back now? You're fine with that,
Yeah,
right?
that's fine.
Person in the middle being Andy Holloway would be
Oh.
played by Ryan Gosling.
Oh, Jason.
Make-
And
Okay,
person
okay.
on the right being Jason would be played by Jonah Hill.
All right. Hey, I'll take it.
Yes,
That's not bad.
Jonah Hill has slimmed down, and he's very funny.
Um,
But one of us got Chris Hemsworth.
I
So
actually just asked the same question for Jason. They gave me Jason Segel.
I'd take
Maybe
that
they were just
too.
looking for a shared first name.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll take Jason Segel. He's super funny. Better than Steven Seagal.
What?
Swish! It's an AMA show. We can do anything here.
I'm just trying to.
I'm
Seagal.
barely
Seagal.
putting it together.
I know
Seagal.
it's the same last name, but
They're basically father-son.
dude, Steven Seagal has some amazing stories out there. If you haven't looked into them,
YouTube question: Zero tolerance.
pooping in
73.
Ooh, Under Siege. That would be a good name for the Spitballers episode that comes out on Monday. If you
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
make sure
yeah.
you look that up, people.
Who's y'all's favorite Marvel character? This question from YouTube. For me, it is Wolverine.
For me, it's Iron Man. He started it off. He's the leader. He's the best.
and it's really hard not to be Wolverine, but it's still Spider-Man for me.
When you say started it off, you clearly mean the movies.
The movie universe, that went crazy.
Were you not a Marvel guy before the universe?
Not
Or
really.
The movie universe?
No, I don't think I was. I mean, honestly, before Iron Man came out, like when I think about superhero movies, it was like you had the Batmans, you had
we had
Superman.
We had cartoons. Like we had the X-Men cartoons.
The X-Men
I did
cartoons
love the
is
X-Men
where I
cartoon.
loved
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Oh,
That's
man.
why I was a Wolverine fan. YouTube question from the Lame Raccoon. As native Phoenicians, which one of the footballers drives the fastest?
Oh, that's me for sure. I mean, like,
is Jason.
yeah.
I would say that the scale goes Mike, me, Jason.
100%. Mike is a very slow driver. Cautious, or
He's just
he's just
he's
chill.
the
You're a
most
very chill.
patient
Okay, that's
of
a
us.
that's a kinder word.
I drive 5 to 7 over.
What a slow poke. I should be in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Are you still? Yeah.
I haven't had a ticket in
Oh,
many years.
here
He'll
we
never
go.
catch me.
Here we go.
It's been a long time since I got a ticket. I
Um,
think the last time I was pulled over was criminal speeding, though. So, but that was 15 years ago.
yeah.
Now I just go faster. They don't see me.
Yeah, it's Jason. It's Jason, all right. This question, let's go YouTube question from Peter. What is everyone's favorite hobby outside of fantasy football?
Pickleball?
That's your favorite hobby?
I think it's what I enjoy the most outside of it, yeah.
I would have answered cooking for you.
That would be up there, too. I mean, I don't have many hobbies. It's like fantasy
I always
football,
hate this question because I feel like I'm a loser when they
cooking,
ask me this
pickleball.
question.
Why? Well,
Because I
what's-
don't have good answers. My answers are like I'm like a dad.
Oh,
Like a
yeah.
dad's my hobby. See?
Yeah, but you love pickleball too.
I do, but like favorite hobby, I guess, just means the thing you
No,
get to do.
so your favorite hobby is probably video games because that's what you.
I play
tend
video
to go
games
to.
and pickleball, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the most enjoyment is pickleball, but you can't always do that. I mean, you have to have time and people together. But music and so guitar playing and video games.
X question here from Funk Zero Fan. If you could
Funk
pick
to
up
Funk.
the studio and your families and move to any other
San Diego.
U.S.
We'd be very
town
strong.
on someone else's dime, which city would you pick?
San Diego. That would be mine. Perfect weather year round. I love San Diego.
Nah.
Where would you go?
Probably
Tahoe.
Hawaii.
Oh,
Hawaii's
okay.
a state. Which city are you going to?
I will go to the island of Maui
Okay.
and
I don't know any
the
cities
coast
there.
of Kaanapali.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Yeah.
That's probably where I would take us to.
Yeah.
I bet you'd be fine with either place. So
Oh, I'll take San Diego.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not a bad question.
I don't think I would want to live in Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii, but
Why would you want to live?
In
Like, other than the
paradise?
weather, like, the weather in San Diego is great, but the driving is not great.
it's not like L.A. It's not at all.
Not good.
It's the same as Phoenix. Phoenix. It's not like driving here is great.
We
I-
Driving here has gotten ridiculous.
You always thought you grew up and you would go and your summers were Santa Monica,
Yes, correct.
but you're saying San Diego.
Yes, Santa Monica is great, but the problem is you have to live in L.A. area, and the driving there is worse than anything that exists. Like whatever bad things are out there, the worst of the list is driving in Los Angeles. Nothing like that in San Diego.
Okay. All right. Do we have time for more of these questions, or should we move on here, Al? Do you know if we should hit some more?
Let's do 2 more.
All right. Ryan writes in. Ryan Lovell from Twitter says, "My wife and I just had twins,
Congratulations.
Oh, awesome.
a boy and a girl. Our
Hey.
first children."
That's how I did it. Boy and girl twins for our first.
Jason, what tips do you have
Okay.
for another twin dad?
You came to the right place. Look, if you've got twins, you do everything. So you're changing diapers, you're doing bottle feedings, you're up at night, and it's going to make you such a better, more capable father and person. So congratulations. You don't know any better. Lose sleep. And then if you have a third, like these two guys, like third is harder.
You.
Yeah, but I'm saying you guys,
We didn't have twins.
the third,
gotcha.
you never went through 2 at once.
Right.
So it's like a third was just adding one more to parenting. This was like, oh, one baby. This is nothing. So it's a breeze.
Ron writes in, "What is your favorite part of the off season, real life included, such as more family time?" We all know Jason loves those birthday parties, though.
Oh, gosh. It's one of my favorite things.
You still going to the same amount of birthday parties as you used to? Probably less.
No. Thankfully, the kids have gotten older, and it's like the birthday. I don't go to the. I
They're
don't
like
go
a
to teenagers'
yeah.
birthday parties anymore. It's like my dad came to the movie. No, you just go and hang out, and it's delightful.
A part of the off season I really, really like is like you get 2 days off.
Right.
Like back to back. And like love the job. It's not complaining, but when you're like at week 15 and it's like it's a 6-day work week essentially with including a bunch of nights, you're like, okay, I'm ready to have 2 days in a row off. It's nice.
We record our shows in the afternoon before the day they come out in the off season.
off-season, yeah.
So I really enjoy a slightly longer morning. We're not rushing in to record.
Yeah,
That's my favorite part.
My enjoyment of the off season is 2 things. One, I really love scouting and getting to know the rookies.
Yeah,
From a
I
work
love that.
standpoint, it's that. From a non-work standpoint, it's getting out of Dodge, just going on a vacation. Like I love just whatever it is, a cruise, going somewhere. I like traveling.
Steven Seagal? Really?
Yeah. Swish.
All right. Well, the playoffs are coming up, which means we are going to continue our fantasy face-off.
Fantasy Faceoff, presented by DraftKings.
Well, we've got a bunch of wild card weekend games coming up.
And Andy was last week's loser of Fantasy Faceoff, but
this is a different version.
There's a different version, so he thinks he's getting away with it, but he's not! You got
Of shame.
Bring that wheel up, baby! Oh, Andy, go ahead.
This is a surprise to even me.
Yeah, spin the wheel, buddy.
Oh, please be just slime dropping all over him.
Oh, yeah. Look
Iceman, MTV cringe, League of Record lose. Oh, Bananarama! Oh!
Oh, so first is the banana face. There you go. You put that in. That looks great. And Will Levis, what was he famous for, Mike?
Eating mayonnaise?
Oh, that's disgusting. What do you got there, Andy? Oh, you got a jar of mayonnaise and a spoon?
Feeling really Batman in this thing. Feeling real fat man in here.
Imagine Mike trying to wear that. So, I don't know, man. I feel like if you're going to go the whole way, maybe you
that's up to you,
try
bro.
that mayo. I won't make you, but
How big does this spoonful have to be?
it doesn't have to be big. You just go a little bitsky. Oh, he's going hard. Yeah, that's a big spoon. Go to YouTube immediately. Oh, he's taking a big spoon of.
Yeah, did you switch it?
Yeah, we switched
I
it.
thought you might have.
Oh,
Well,
man.
kind of.
Well, kind of? Wait,
It's about 40% vanilla pudding, 60% mayonnaise.
I was told it was going to be switched to vanilla pudding. I was told this was – here's what's great about what you just did, Andy. If you didn't do that, I was going to say then I will do it, and I was going to go take a very confident bite knowing that it was vanilla pudding. So you're telling me
I think we're working our way through this one.
Okay, so he hasn't thrown up yet.
Okay.
That was a confusing flavor.
You kind of liked it?
Hey, I'm proud of you,
The
man.
first taste was
Vanilla?
this isn't mayonnaise. That was so it was a vanilla tone,
Right.
but then there was the sour.
Then the vanilla, then the mayonnaise came through.
Yeah, really
40.
good.
You guys couldn't figure out how to get it up to a hundo?
Yeah. Also,
Was that your gag on the gag? Was you didn't?
Well, we wanted, if Jason took it, we wanted him to be surprised as well.
Oh, wait, I was the winner. I won last week. You're fired. Also,
yeah.
real quick before we move on, and Mike mentioned it, but dude, you didn't hesitate.
No.
I am
That was
so
a big
proud of
bite.
you. You took a heaping spoonful
Here's
and
the-
put
here-
that mayo in your mouth.
Here's the honest truth. I'm a pretty big mayo fan.
He's like,
Yeah.
I do this all the time.
I just felt like I'd be okay
Can't threaten me with a good time.
because I like mayo.
I'm with it too. I love mayonnaise, but
This was a surprise.
where my stomach is at right now, there's no way I could take a bite of
Yeah,
that without.
I'm feeling different things. I'm feeling different things right now.
I just can't believe how much you put on the spoon.
I didn't
thought
wanna
you'd
be-
get like a little taste and put it in.
I wanted you to know I'd be fine on Survivor.
All right. Oh, hey. All right.
You know?
Survivors.
Is there a
this
lot
is-
of mayonnaise drops in Survivor?
Look, sometimes you got to eat things you don't want to eat.
Okay. All right.
So, and I'm feeling it now.
What a stud.
Proving it.
Absolute unit.
Why don't you explain what we're doing for the playoffs here
All right. So
as I wear this banana head?
yeah. So we are going to through the playoffs be playing DraftKings Pick 6. Now, Pick 6 is a super fun game. There's all the stats from all the players that you're used to, and you're basically going to pick more or less on these player projections. You know, someone's got more or less than half an interception or this amount of
Right.
yardage or whatever. You make two or more picks from the same group of games, the same
like
slate.
the slate?
And then you get paid out if you hit. So we are all bringing
And things are turning on Andy right now.
It's just barking.
– oh, man.
Get through the
Andy's
show.
getting got on these episodes lately.
Yeah, I feel
All right.
real good.
So I'll kick it off with my Pick 6 combo, my two of our
of our six.
of our six. So we each made our own little entry here, and I am taking Zach Ertz more than 39.5 receiving yards.
Well, that's a good amount.
It's a good amount, but he's hit it a lot. Especially if you take out the injury game and that first game back from the concussion, he's basically usually over this. And I believe Tampa Bay Buccaneers have given up the second most yardage to tight ends. So I really like that pick. And I'm going with Jordan Love less than 227.5 passing yards because he hasn't looked good. He hasn't hit this number but like once in the last 2 months or something.
He's beat up.
He's beat up, he's injured, and he's got a tough matchup.
And no Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Now, we put these together independently. We didn't know what the other person was going to pick. In all of the things did the Sunday slate, that was the one that I loved too, which is the Jordan Love less than 227.5. And I'm going to combo that with Bucky. Funny enough, we were talking about him at the top. Bucky more than 86.5 rushing yards, which he has done in 3 of the previous 4 games.
That is the Washington matchup there. My combination are 2 sides of the same game. The Super Bowl bound Los Angeles Chargers. I'm taking.
Oh, can I guess real quick?
Go ahead.
Because I actually
Is
made
it huge?
I made
I thought
another
about the huge line.
I made another one of these just on my own just to play, and it was fun, and it was in the same game, and it was Herbert more, and it was Stroud less.
You're wrong.
Oh,
This is McConkey more than 5.5 receptions. So he's got to hit 6 receptions. And it is Joe Mixon less than 70.5 receiving or rushing. rushing.
If receiving's an option, you got to sign me up for that.
Rushing yards. The fade of Mixon, the inefficiency of the offense, the Houston offense, they're at home. They're not favored.
You felt it firsthand.
I'm feeling a lot right now, actually.
You were relying on Mixon and Nico.
I don't think that this game flow is going to lend itself to Mixon getting over or more than 70.5. So I'm going to take less than 70.5 for Mixon on the rushing side and more than 5.5 receptions for McConkey. So we're going to shift to the crowns and clowns for this playoff fantasy face-off. This is the tightest banana I've ever worn. I can tell you that.
A little bit of circulation left.
Yeah, it's really compressing while my stomach is singing. That was Fantasy Face-Off presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook is crowning a king of the end zone every NFL game day. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code BALLERS. That is the code BALLERS to compete for a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Before I shut down, I do have one final question for Jason.
Uh-oh.
When did you decide to do this to me?
When it was asked in Slack whether or not we were going to do this, and I immediately said no. I said, don't worry about it. I went and talked to Jeremy at that moment.
Gotcha.
Goodbye.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-OPEN-Y or text OPEN-Y 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. 1 token per customer. Tokens expire at the start of the final of NFL game each day when offered. Use token on day's longest touchdown scorer to receive equal share of $2 million in non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 168 hours. Additional wagering restrictions apply. For additional terms or responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.